today we have launched a number of products around 4 themes. The first one is safety, right? So I think road safety is gathering more and more importance, and therefore we've launched our safety range of trucks, which will improve active safety as we call. So this will have first in India collision mitigation system. It also has a driver monitoring system. So generally I think this should help us improve the safety on roads. The second theme is on alternate fuel. As our chairman has said, I think the movement towards zero emission is irreversible. And in that direction, therefore, we are launching our CNG vehicles, industry first in medium and heavy commercial vehicles, 19 ton and 28 ton. In addition to that, we've also improved fuel efficiency with a lot of feature addition across the range. So that also gets launched today. And finally, it is also about the infrastructure growth. How do we support the infrastructure growth? So there is good amount of tippers which are also getting launched today, which will help government's push on infrastructure.
Okay, so that sounds a great plan. But Girish, just wanted to have a check, with 42% market share in the India CV segment right now, with such great plans, where do you see that growing?
So we see that the commercial vehicle industry, after 2 downturn years, if I may say so, FY20 and 21, I think last year saw a good growth of around 22%. And even this year, Q1 has seen a good growth. And if you look at all the parameters or indicators, it seems that the industry will grow during this year. So we are quite positive and optimistic, and we feel that we should see a double-digit growth for the entire year.
Okay, but from 42, where's the next number that you guys have on the card?
So I think I first answered about the industry growth. And for the market share, I think we do have our targets. But, as I've been saying, our target is also to grow profitably.
Okay, understood. Took your point. But when we see the whole CNG segment, now you guys have come up with its first in kind CNG variant in the MHCV segment. How do you see the penetration going, and what are the plans regarding that?
Right. So as far as CNG penetration is concerned, we have seen it going up in intermediate and light commercial vehicles as well as small commercial vehicles. I think over the past few months, the CNG prices have gone up and the price differential between diesel has reduced. So to that extent, I think the penetration has gone down. But we expect, going ahead with the government's push on natural gas, the price differential with diesel should further increase, and it will become more and more profitable to use CNG trucks. And therefore, we've launched this MHCV CNG trucks today, and they also come with a 1,000-kilometer range, right? So refilling infrastructure is something which is growing. But I think with 1,000-kilometer range, the customers will have lesser number of occasions when they have to get to the filling station.
Understood. But you did touch upon the industry growth, and CV is a cyclical industry. When we see it's generally having a 2 to 3 years of cycle. But in the past 1 year, it has already been an uptrend. Going forward, when you expect this to continue, what difference is you are finding in this particular cycle in comparison to the previous ones we have seen?
Right. So if we study the previous cycles, the cycle has been over a period of 5 to 7 years, both up cycle and down cycle. And we strongly believe that the up cycle has started from the last year. So we should have a few good years ahead of us with the government push on infrastructure. There's a lot of push, Gati Shakti and a lot of infrastructure projects. So that should help. I think the consumption also seems to be on the rise. So that is also helping the last mile distribution. So overall, we feel with the various indicators today, the commercial vehicle industry should actually continue this upcycle for some time.
Okay, but when it comes to alternative fuel, Tata Motors has been working really aggressively when it comes to the EVs. You have already got a very handsome order book when it comes to in the buses category. Can you just tell us a number where exactly this number is standing, and apart from that, where do you see this number growing?
Right. So as far as buses are concerned, we have now more than 700 buses running on the road with 40 million kilometers cumulative running experience. As far as the order book is concerned, we were L1 in the recently aggregated tender of CSL, which is around 5,400 buses. Out of those, we've already got letter of award for 3,200 buses. So that's the order book that we have. In addition to this, CSL is also likely to come up with their next grand tender, right, which we are very keen to participate in. And we also see there is a good interest coming in from retail customers, right? That means private customers who own buses. So for their employee transportation, they are looking for this. So I believe that the electric buses as a segment should continue to grow. There are few challenges that we have. First is the funding, right, for these number of buses, because most of these buses are now being sold in this own and operate model, that is the gross cost contract model, which needs a lot of initial funding. So that's one challenge that we are discussing with the government. In addition to that, I think a payment security mechanism is very important because it's a 10-year kind of an order. But these payment security mechanisms do exist in our other industries, and those can be replicated in buses. So I do see a good demand coming in for buses, both government sector as well as private sector.
Okay, but you did touch upon the working capital cycle, because it's almost a decade-long project that you guys come into. How do you see that in the present scenario? Like, is the company well on time, well in need to get along all those working capital requirements?
So as far as funding is concerned, as I said, there are two parts. One is initial funding, right? I mean, one bus roughly would be around, more than 100 lakh rupees, kind of the initial investment. So we are in discussion with the government on various options to lead to funding solutions, right? And there has been a good progress on this. So I do believe that this is going to be a key debottlenecking kind of a solution. Secondly, as you said, working capital is about the payment cycle, right, on the running basis. So even there, as I said, there are quite a few good solutions which are there in some of the other industries, which can be replicated in automotive or the bus industry, and that should help address both the issues.
Okay, but recently an EV LCV has also been launched. What is the response to that, and how do you see the number growing in that terms?
So the response to the ACE EV has been very, very good. In fact, since the launch, we have been doing the testing of the vehicle in customer duty cycles, and we see very good response from the customers in terms of the load being carried, the range, the charging, because they are interested in having the vehicle uptime pretty high. So I think we have been able to meet most of the requirements of these customers. And now we parallelly have also worked on the ecosystem in terms of the financing solutions, right? The charging infrastructure, so that how the vehicles can run, come back to a charging station, get charged. So we worked on all this, and we are ready to get going. Meanwhile, we've also worked on the supply chain. And as you know, most of the batteries do come from one part of the world. So we have worked on that also. That is also getting secured, and we should start supplies of the vehicles. In fact, since we launched the vehicle, we have seen many more interesting queries coming up from customers. So there's a good demand which we see for eLCV.
Okay, and last, my question to Girish is that we are seeing that 14 of your products are standing right there. How much has been the investment in creating the platform, if you have a number and if you want to share that?
So as far as investment is concerned, see, we have been giving our direction that generally in a year we would be investing close to 2,000 crores in commercial vehicles, and we continue to be within that. And with our modularity approach, I think that should help us to come up with more and more vehicles within the given investment, including the electric vehicles. And as we go ahead, the percentage of spend which goes on electric vehicles will keep on increasing.